sistership. Yeah, we on a sistership. Roll with us, we on a sistership. Sistership, we got it now. Come on, let's talk about sistership. We got it now. Come on, let's talk about this, talk about that. Talk about let's talk about that. Let's talk about sistership. We got it. So come on, let's talk about it. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I roll with you. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I roll with you. Substance, oh, sis, you know we're on a mission, no way. Help each other get over some rain. Trying to bring change. Come on, cause we've been to the rain. Now it's time to shine like blaze. Let's talk about life skills. The right wills. Love heals. Hey! How did we stand together? We united, hold hands, support each other's dreams and our plans, doing everything we can. Come on, just to show we understand the power of a friendship's fam. Is life on purpose. Hey! We're here for each other, no matter the color. Networking, that's for sure and for certain. Yeah, we on a sistership. Come with us, we on a sistership. Yeah, we on a sistership. Roll with us, we on a sistership. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I roll with ya. We're my sisters, we got this, sister. You roll with me and I roll with ya. Sistership, we got it. Now come on, let's talk about Hey, now come on, let's talk about Let's talk about this, talk about that, talk about this, talk about that, let's talk about sistership. We got it. Now come on, let's talk about it. We on a sistership. We on a sistership. We was in harmony. All right. I love how we brought that together. Hello, we are on a sistership. This is your girl Tiffany Rowe, and I am back. Welcome, welcome. I have been through the fire, for real. And I want to thank all of my sisters that are here, my sisters that are out there, the sistership. I want to say thank you so much for your prayers, for your strength, for allowing me to walk on water, because you lifted me off of the ground that was insane for me. I am wearing a sistership, Miss Substance. This was the one shirt that I got really quickly because she had made it before the fire. Wow. And it got mailed to me 2 days after. Wow. So I had a brand new shirt and I put it and I wear it with all my love. And again, the sistership even gave a gift card for the dog. The dog lived, right. And we got a gift card to get him some food and a cute little outfit. So, and yes, sisters, you don't have to look like what you're going through. Amen. That's right. Amen. All right. So I want to thank my women here, and I love you, Tiffany Rowe. We are today. Okay, so sistership. We gotta hold each other up. We gotta be with each other through so many things. And sometimes we are in a situation where we are pregnant. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. We are pregnant for whatever reasons. Okay, and we're going to talk about that because as we all know and we've seen on the news, on whatever you watch out there, whatever your channel goes to, you have seen what Texas is beginning and trying to do with women's bodies. I just want to say that a state where the majority of the people that run it are men are trying to make decisions on a woman's body. We definitely encourage anyone on about what time around in about 30 minutes to call in if you have anything you want to share. 888-304-4401. Your stance. We welcome them all. Don't get it twisted, but we have a stance too. Okay, and today we have, oh my God, first of all, you know my Woman Crush Wednesday is here today. Lady Wisdom, okay, you know how I feel about that sister right there. We have Tiffany Cole, who always tries to hide behind it in the background, but this was such a powerful conversation that she came from the production booth back there, and she is in front, live and in living color. You got Steph Queen of Bling, sitting right here. And she brought one of her sisters. So the sistership, we just keep growing and glowing. And we have from the bricks, from Brick City, Newark. You know she's going to bring the heat because that's all we know how to do. Miss Tawanda Jones. So I just want to thank everyone that is here today. We are going to have an amazing, amazing, amazing show. Informational. Going to be some provocative things going on right here. You know, sometimes she has me drinking water today. If she got something else in the water, another word might come out. I'm just going to stay level, stay level. Because if I have a sip, we're going to agree to disagree. We're going to agree to disagree. So I want to share something. Abortions were made legal across the United States in a landmark 1973 Supreme Court judgment, often referred as Roe versus Wade. So that is what, you know, somehow along the way, challenges with a woman's body were made. We talked about that. We talked about the expense of this. We talked about what happens and the mentality. I want to kind of start off with the mentality of a woman who is even thinking about what's going on with her to even think about having an abortion. Let's talk about that woman, because I want to let you know that is not, and again, I'm not even here to judge women that may use it more often than some other, because that's that other piece that we try to do. Oh, but she done had it 11 times, and all of those different things. I don't believe, and I almost want to say I know. No one wants to make that the decision to terminate a pregnancy. However, I want us to go around the table and kind of talk about what does that woman look like that is making this decision in the first place, or contemplating this.
Yeah. So let's get it started then.
Yeah.
I think that women, and just from my experience with those who have had to make those decisions, they were either medically charged, situations where the woman didn't have the financial stability required. We know there are women who have been raped, let's call it for what it is, and been in a position where they have had to make a decision to abort. There's so many, I think there's an array of different circumstances that a woman has to make a decision to, or is in a position to make a decision to abort.
Well,
go ahead.
Let me just say this, because we say women, all those that have had to experience an abortion have not all been women. Okay? So you say, what do they look like? They're frightened.
Yeah.
They're mentally challenged. They're confused. They're hurt.
Yeah.
They're not sure. But they're not sure how else to handle it. Incest has caused it.
Yes.
Rape.
Yep.
Violence. Pedophilia. You have so many reasons why someone may get an abortion. But it should still be a choice of that person. I question, because in 1973, when we had Roe versus Wade, this was about women's rights, constitutional rights.
Right. Yes.
So the question is, why are we revisiting this the law? Who decided that it should be changed, and why? That's the real question.
Well, and I want to also say, when we say woman, okay, breaking it down, one man is man with womb. So, and then so it's womb man, and then there's woman.
Yeah.
And one man comes with wisdom. Most of the times when this is taking place, let's take rape out, because that's always the first argument.
Right.
Oh, well, what if they're raped? We're gonna put that to the side. 16-year-old girl, 14-year-old girl who is a womb man, because we have a womb, gets pregnant. How many decisions out there have you made at 14, 15, 16 years old that you wish you could have? I wish I didn't have, look at those pictures in high school. Look at that hairstyle. Man, I wish I didn't do that.
Mm.
Man, I wish I didn't do this. You got, I'm not telling my story, but you went to the store and you stole that lip gloss and you got caught. And your parent had to come get you. Oh, I wish I didn't do that.
Mm.
So how many of you I was conceived in the backseat of a car? How many of you were in a place where you shouldn't have been with the opposite sex and you had sex for the first time or maybe the second time or whatever? Should you be responsible for that for the rest of your life? That's going to be a question.
Mm.
Answering your question. And we had some post conversations, let me tell you. And I love the statement and the answer you gave to that question. And I want you to, I know. Let me tell you something. I'm giving y'all a leeway because when the sister gets on the mic, I'm just gonna sit back and I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to see what you're going to put on the wall next, okay? Because that's how powerful it was. But we've all had made decisions and we've done things in our earlier life that we wish we could have taken back. And some of them are as simplistic as a hairstyle. Please, I'm not trying to say hair and pregnancy is equal. But when you are 14, 15, and 16, kind of, sort of, maybe. Kind of, sort of, maybe. What we're seeing nowadays on TV and the sexuality that's out there on TV and the different social medias and all of it, I'm not going to say nothing because I'm not claiming nothing, but we all see it. A lot of people are making decisions haphazardly. Now, do we need the haphazards to raise the next generation? I don't know. That's what today is about. So the question was, why are we revisiting abortions in this time? And I'm gonna just be quiet because Tawanda brought it, and I'm gonna give her due.
Right. Well, I mean, there are quite a few things that we can discuss concerning. We look at Texas, which now has just brought to the forefront the anti-abortion law, and we want to understand that we have these older gentlemen making decisions about a woman's body. Mm-hmm. We all know the different, I'd say, progressions of what a woman's body goes through from puberty to childbearing years, to menopause, to elderly. They cannot understand that. But you're going to make a decision on what I do with my body? It's just, I mean, as a woman who, is beyond childbearing years, I still have been through those different iterations of my life, and I couldn't sit back and not say anything. I could put my head in the sand with, it doesn't affect me, but I have 5 nieces.
Right.
That range in age from 32 down to 7.
I also feel too, with Texas having only 27% female legislators, that is such a minority in number that they should not be the platform for this conversation. They're also the state that holds the absolute most amount of bodies that have been killed with the death sentence. The most amount of you can add up 10 other states and still not equal the conversations and the death tolls that they have on bodies of the death penalty. So we're talking about a state that clear, and it's not even I don't want to play conservative liberal. It's not even conservative. My conservative friends would never be on a horse beating Black Haitians away from the border. So I don't know what we're talking about here. I don't want people to say, it's this, because I have a lot of conservative friends that are very angry about a lot of things that they're seeing happening. So I'm trying to understand what's going on in that cave of a state. And I say in a cave because I feel very dark aged when I hear the different stories that are taking place. Now, I'm going to call a spade a spade. My sister Tawanda said it. I had already had it in my head, and I'm going to say it. The browning of America is one of the reasons why we want to try to slow down some rates. Now, I'm calling what I'm saying. I'm calling. Okay? That's what I see. I see a state that sees a law. I went to Texas during Harvey. First and only time I have ever been to Texas. I was watching Americans. I was watching people, human beings suffer because of Hurricane Harvey. I am in my home at the time crying. I booked a flight on JetBlue that flew me into Austin, that allowed me to stay in Austin and drive to Houston to demuck homes. I had people out here that gave me money in hand, that I put money in people's hands. I saw a family that had one toothbrush amongst 5 people. There is a beauty that I witnessed when I was in that state of love and care. What is going on? What is going on?
Somebody done lost their damn mind.
There you go.
I mean, because think about it. A part of this law is that people can make citizens arrests. Get the hell out of here. There's somebody coming for me.
Yes.
You know how many more deaths
Yes.
and homicides they're gonna have?
Yes.
Because it's an open carry state.
Yes.
Those folks carry guns.
Yes.
You gonna roll up on somebody and try to arrest them for making a choice of their own?
This is a new age.
They're gonna cause a bigger problem
It's Karen.
than this is worth.
Karen environment.
It's
That's exactly
crazy.
what they instituted,
It's
a
crazy.
Karen environment. I said this is like Stone Ages. It's like going out and stoning people back in the day because they don't believe in something, so you're going to rat somebody else out. It's like stoning them. I mean, really, why is it anybody else's decision to pick up the phone and call and say so-and-so is going to get an abortion? What is it to you? How is it affecting you?
What is it to you? One of the things too there was a place when I was younger in New York, in Queens. You know, I'm brought up in South Jamaica, Queens, raised in Canaan. That's me. Anyway, Choices. It was this place called Choices, and Choices was, you know, the place where young women would go when they were pregnant and wanted to terminate the pregnancy. And even then, you would hear, you know, people protesting. I think people have the right to protest. I definitely do. I definitely want to say that I'm a believer. I'm not important enough to make laws or anything like that in this area. But I do feel that prior to making that decision, it may make a lot of sense to talk to someone. I know, and again, this is on the flip side. I know women that have had abortions, and I know some of those same women never were able to give birth again. So I want to sit here and say I get the conversations. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, we're just so too. I don't know which is left or right, liberal. I don't really know, but whatever that side is that y'all claim, or red or blue, whatever y'all do, because y'all know y'all do stuff. I don't want to claim to be there.
Right.
We have a sistership. We're not responsible for your decisions, but we have enough women, enough people here that if you need to have a conversation before you make this decision, before you make these major life decisions, to chat and have conversations. And that's the beauty of this platform. It is such a beautiful platform to have. But what if again, I'm just not ready. The simplicity. It could be rape, it could be incest, it could be all these different. I'm just not ready. This is my body.
Right.
And this is what I wish
choice.
to do.
Right.
And in the event that I'm not able, then that's something I'm gonna have to carry that burden.
Yeah.
Because once you tell somebody and tell them they can't do it, are you gonna help pay for this
Thank you.
child? Are
Thank
you
you.
gonna help raise this child? Are
Right.
you gonna find the baby daddy or whatever the daddies or whatever the that male? Because y'all spend a lot of time spending money making sure a man can keep it up with Viagra for the rest of their damn life. Let me tell you something.
Let's preach.
But you're not here. The same body body of individuals are not here to give salvation to these women. So what do you think? What do you think about that?
Well, I want to piggyback on what you said as far as them not allowing young ladies or women to have abortions. These same people who are protesting are the same ones that will not vote in favor or having some type of financial, I'd say, financial help for these women once they bring their child to term. They're the same ones that want to decrease food stamps.
Thank you.
The same one that do not feel that people should have TRA or Section 8. So the hypocrisy in the people who are making the laws is what really just churns my stomach. No different. I want to piggyback on what you said about Texas having all of the death penalty, the highest percentage of death penalty. So that's, you want to force people to bring forth life, and then you also want to be number one and taking life. The
Thank
hypocrisy.
From here, I'm knocking on. Listen,
it's unreal. You had people, and I'm going to call them the holy rollers, and I'm no offense to anyone, because I was raised in a Kojic, but Church of God in Christ for people who don't know. So I was,
Ebenezer Baptist Church, Antioch Baptist Church, Corona.
And I think most of us, we did have a Christian upbringing, but they're saying that, oh, it's God's will if a woman is pregnant and she brings forth birth. Well, to piggyback off, you said, well, it's God's will. If he can't get it up, oh, well, you're done. Stick a fork in it, baby. You're done. So the hypocrisy is what I just can't deal with.
That's right. And when we both 60 together, I don't know if I want to do it every night. I'm just saying. But
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say to that.
But I absolutely agree with you, and I'm glad you brought that up, Tawana, because that was exactly the inverse, right? Because when we think about, we're trying to take people's right away, women's right away to, and we'll say wombs, to have control over their wombs, but yet you don't want to. You're talking about how you want to get rid of all this aid that's should be available to people who don't have the financial means to bring up children. And let's not get it twisted. There are people taking advantage of the system. All right, whatever. That's not the majority.
that is not
the majority.
Not the majority.
So let's be clear. I mean, you can't say you're talking out both sides of your mouth. You can't do that. You have to be consistent. So when you're putting laws in, and they are. But I'm saying if you're going to create a law, and you want to talk about law, first of all, you don't have control over a woman's body. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say you're not going to tell me what to do with my body. Secondly, if you decide to create those laws, then what are you going to do for the women who actually have to have children because of these laws, and you don't want to take care of them? And then you want to start talking about women who have to have aid. Really? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even consistent in the thought process and the laws that are being created, because they're opposite and they're contradicting each other.
And then you look down upon.
Thank you. That's the other.
The women that are getting assistance.
Right.
The WIC. Oh, they got the WIC.
Right.
You got the paper that says you get the free formula and all this. You're looking down on that. Then you're going to tell me how much food I can buy because you're giving me a budget based on these children.
Right.
Then you start to create an ideology within my mind that, oh, well, maybe if I do, again, these things happen. If I have another kid, then I'll get more money. If I get another kid, I can get a 3-bedroom versus a 2-bedroom. You're creating this situation. And we mentioned earlier again, I'm going to say it, hangers for these abortions. Hangers. A wire hanger. The same wire hanger that Joan Crawford used in the movie to beat the child. Same wire hanger you get from the dry cleaners that suck because you really, they can't hold nothing. But what they do is they bend it and use that. Because they can't afford without pure and clean abortion rights.
Right.
Then you're going to have a monopoly of those who will do it on this illegal.
Yep.
It's going to be ridiculously expensive.
Right.
Or they're going to have to travel out of state, which again is ridiculously expensive. God forbid there's something that happens after, they're going to have to go back out of state to be treated. This is a situation, and who right now are the ones that are going to be the most hindered? It's going to be brown women. And another piece, playing with that, I know we got a lot to talk about, the 6 weeks. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. With Genesis Sean Bailey, 21-year-old baby, I had my period almost until my 7th month.
Wow.
That's number one. With Zyla Jada Bailey, I'm named after Jada because I love Jada. Happy birthday, Jay. I was 3 months pregnant before I knew. 3 months pregnant before I knew I was pregnant. God is so good and merciful. I wanted both of them. I needed both of them. We needed both of them. They were not something that kind of showed up and was, I wasn't raped. It wasn't incest. I was married. So the fact that I didn't know for whatever, that it didn't hinder any decision. But if something was different and I found out on the 8th week, because my period kind of came, it didn't come, it spotted, it did this. Again, men, you don't know about this.
You don't know about it, right?
You don't know about this,
Right.
okay? If all of this is happening to me and then I find out, and then I'm like, oh my God. And it's with, you know, that dude. I didn't even get into the rape and the incest. That's a whole other thing. And I'm gonna be honest, I feel that the same person that's gonna force someone to have a child and the mindset is jacked up, that's a special place in hell for you. I'm just saying, that's how I feel. That's me. That's the words of me are not the words
Disclaimer.
of Genesis Radio, bling. You know, we got 2 blings, we got ladies, and that's not there. This is Tiffany Rowe. Go to my, get mad at me. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because you said a whole lot. In that.
I know. I'm mad. I got some stuff on.
No, you know, and I think
it's been a while.
And you know, we have been emotional over the subject since that came into play because once again, to your point, Lady Wisdom, why now? Why now? Right?
Break it down.
I know.
Why now?
Break it down.
Well, I was reading an article, and it was saying that it has the combination of them revisiting Roe versus Wade. It happens to come into the same time frame as the new voting laws. And I didn't get too far into it, but it was based on, you know, simply said they're looking for a platform to run on.
Woo!
So, my personal opinion is that somebody experienced something and they had no control, and now they're trying to take control back by setting a standard. Whether it was a relationship with a mistress or a spouse or whatever the circumstances that happen, because we know that some states, they change and they make laws as they need them. And again, in my opinion, somebody came across a situation where someone may have had an abortion that they didn't necessarily agree with. And now they're like, oh, I'm mad as hell. We're going to make these women pay. The decisions that they're taking, I also believe it's a form of distraction to take away the stuff that's really going on. Don't tell me that, just as said by the other sisters on this platform, you don't want to give support to those that are here, and yet we're about to bring some more folks over.
There it is. There it is.
Like, let's get real about it. Like, in the reality of it, it is about their agendas.
Absolutely.
It is about their agendas. We was in a war for 20 years and we spent trillions of dollars. Let's be clear, the economy is not bouncing back the way they claim it's bouncing back. In the last year and a half, they gave 3 stimulus payments that totaled $3,200 for an adult. $3,200. Once you done paid that rent, or mortgage payment, and maybe your cell phone bill, there's nothing left. So for them to even think that that stimulated the economy, this is about them getting ready to do some things. They have passed almost 400 new bills that no one is aware of since January. Pay attention to what they're doing. They have to take your focus from one place and put it in another place. We are talking about abortion rights that is technically that's Roe versus Wade came as a constitutional decision.
Right.
They're trying to change that. That's unlawful. That means that you're going against the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Correct? So,
Right
so
of
the question
privacy.
becomes, here we are revisiting something that was visited, what, almost 40 years
73.
ago?
73 year I was born.
And
Yes.
or more than 40 years
Yeah.
ago,
Mhm.
and you turn around and you want, oh, this is happening.
Right.
We got the votes. We got election time coming up.
Absolutely.
It's important.
Mhm.
Some of those seats, vote some of these people out.
Mhm.
I don't know how they still sitting.
Right.
Some of them have gotten office and haven't gotten out. Get them out.
Mhm.
We know how they're still in office because, again, we don't pay attention, or we pay attention at the last minute. Because look at Stroudsburg, Planned Parenthood. They got rid of that, 2-3 years ago? I was having a conversation with Linda Schwartz. The handwriting was already on the wall that they were looking at revising this bill. And we just started now
We're just
to
now
pay
hearing about
attention
it.
to it.
Yep.
But it was already being done.
Oh yeah. That's not something that would happen overnight.
Mhm.
These are
No.
discussions
So
that have been had for years.
But because it was so minute, we didn't pay attention to it. And again, if you don't put it in our face, we don't pay attention to it.
Right.
So now it's here.
Mhm.
So now everybody has to look and go, oh.
Mhm.
But maybe we could have adjusted it if we paid attention when they started stepping on it.
Mm.
So when Planned Parenthood was taken away from East Stroudsburg, because it was taken away, that was already a sign.
Yeah.
And
It's
there's,
coming.
and there's a lot of controversy around Planned Parenthood.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
don't want to,
And
know,
you're
right.
saying,
you
and
know,
now
there's
you're-
a lot, and we can chat more about that. But I want to kind of piggyback off of Lady Wisdom and what she was sharing. Under 45's administration, there were over 200 judges appointed. While we were enjoying the tweets and the buffoonery of conversations that are like the epitome of smoke and mirrors. And I'm saying
Absolutely.
that
Say
with
that.
the biggest grin because I understand the science of how people move, and you have no idea what's happening because what's put in front of you is so sensual and it just gets to your senses and makes you want to talk and do all this. That over 200 judges were appointed. Conservative. And not one was Black. I think 2 or 3 Hispanic, and also about 6 to 10 were Asian. So I just want to go in that space to say Asian, have you. Now, we have judges is the piece. You learn these different the judicial and all of the different branches of government. That is the area in which laws and precedents are made. So while we're not paying attention, there are situations that are being stacked. It is not by accident that now this is the conversation. The design was there. I want to say to and piggyback up with Tiff Cole, and I want to say out to our beautiful grassroots family out there. Planning groups. When you hear your little township or your borough is having a planning meeting, plan, P-L-A-N, planning meeting, you need to be there. You need to know what the plans are in where you are living. You also need to look at this when you go. Help me help you out here. When you go, right, there's going to be this table, big table, a whole bunch of different people. You need to see who's sitting on the other side because that's who's planning for you.
Right.
So go to your planning, Planned Parenthood. Or when they say plan, it's because there's a concept that came way before you even saw the people sitting there. They've already been doing some steps, some stairs, some roadmaps, some whole bunch of stuff. Planning. Go to your planning board meetings and see, and be involved, and do whatever you can. If you got that passion, If you got that goal, even if you had a DUI, I'm just saying, you know, you can have some bad things in your past, they're gonna come out. So what? I guarantee you probably all of them up there had it too. Be a part of, get somebody to get on that seat.
We have somebody on the website asking a question of the panel's educational background.
Mine? Okay, you want
The panel, each of our educational
well,
background.
my education, I'll play with y'all because you know that's a fun conversation. So 2 bachelors of sciences. That's okay. That's all right. We love them. 2 bachelors of sciences. One is in business information systems. The other one is in marketing. And my minors was African American studies and physical education. I am a certified real estate broker in Pennsylvania, New York, and GA, Georgia. I love you. I'm about 2 weeks away from that. The paperwork just went in. Also teach for the state. I teach pre-licensees, and I also teach brokers classes. I do code of ethics. Yes, I teach code of ethics for the state, as well as continuing education. Cosmetology. Yeah, I went to school for that too. New York, Pennsylvania, and California. Oh, that real estate thing, international. I'm sorry, St. Martin. I'm in Dutch and French territories. And yes, I do. Bonjour. Comment allez-vous? Je vais très bien, merci. So we can continue. I don't know if anyone else wants to give a background.
No,
Are we going to play that game?
I'm not going to play that game.
Oh, because we could do that.
I'm
No.
not gonna
Well,
play
I
that
mean,
game.
it's for, so we're not picking any one person to say who it's for. It's just basic. This, you know what, this also helps some of our viewers that are listening for other shows, not just this show, right? So, because they want to know who are we and why are we always giving our opinion. That's technically what we're doing. We give our opinion, but they also want to know why, how we come up with what we come up. And, you know, most of them don't know our ages or anything like that. All I'm going to say is I'm college educated, and I believe the panel majority of us are college educated.
Absolutely.
And that's what I will say. I'm college educated, but I'm not going to go. My thing is, I don't go into your titles or what.
Nobody asked title. That wasn't what I asked. I asked for your educational background.
Okay.
That was a
That's
question
fine.
that was asked. And it helps. It benefits.
I'm sorry.
It benefits for all those because there's people that are experiencing things.
Right.
We're touching on subjects that they are going to experience. We are going to
Absolutely.
touch on subjects from this
Right.
point forward. We have to be able to help people understand that we're just not a bunch of girls sitting around having a chat session.
Having a chat. Exactly.
And you know what, too, in a sense, in reference to that, and this is coming from love. I just threw all that out. And you know, that's just a
No,
little
that
bit.
was nice because you covered everybody.
But I want to say this. We are a bunch of ladies chatting. And we also are women that have been through some things. And we're sharing with transparency our background, our circumstances, our walks. That doesn't mean that you have to agree. That doesn't mean that you
Absolutely.
don't agree.
Right.
I always say there is someone on this panel that you can reveal. It is not always going to be me, probably hardly never, you know. But at
Or
the
relate
same
to.
or relate
And that's why it's called
to.
the sistership, because there's always someone on the panel that you're going to relate to,
Relate
right?
to. Yep.
Because they may not relate to me, but they're going to relate to Lady Wisdom. They're going to relate to Tiffany Rowe. They're going to relate to
Mama C.
Fire. They're going to relate to Tawanda, Mama C. So why did we come up with the sistership? Because it's a group of women who have been through some things, okay? And we all have a
Reality.
college education, or whether you have a high school, because some of us have only a high school diploma, but you have that common
Some of us got
sense
GED.
and you have that knowledge. Yes, because my mother started out with her GED.
Well,
Life-
well, here's the thing.
Look, life
Life
experiences.
Here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. So for those that are listening, it is about it's ladies that chat. We invite others to chat with us and have conversation. We base it on experience and information.
Go answer.
We have a caller coming in.
Yes, yes. 888-304-4401. Keep calling. 888-304-4401.
Can I
Answer.
for a minute?
What do I do? That
I
was
want
me.
to talk about someone.
Sistership, we love you. Hello.
Hello there. This is Mama C calling in.
Oh, another
Hello.
sistership. Queen Asia herself.
How's everyone today?
We are doing.
I think this. I think.
Turn the radio down.
I think it's so important.
Turn the radio
It's
down.
so important. I don't have my radio on right now.
Okay.
So there shouldn't be any friction there. I think this is an important topic, and we need to stay on the topic. People are going to come in and try and distract us
Ooh,
Yes.
all
what
right.
the topic is, and we need to move forward because there are a lot of distractions, and our voices, regardless to what level of education we have, are important. And sitting at that table, every woman at that table is important and has a voice. So I think that should be understood by anybody who is either tuning in or in the chat room or whatever, because our voices matter, and it's time for us to stand up, take a stand, and keep it moving
And keep it
forward,
moving.
irrespective of the distractions that other people throw in our midst.
Amen.
That's over now. I might be calling back later.
Man, that's all right. We love when our thank you. We love when our Queen Ages call.
Go ahead,
For a
Tawanda.
second.
Well, yes, it was a little disturbing as well, understanding maybe the person is trying to figure out if we've all worked in women's health or if we worked in some kind of service capacity. For me, myself, I've always been a servant, always.
Mhm.
When I was in college, I worked with upward bound students, tutoring.
Yes.
I had to stop. Being in an engineering school, I needed to focus, but some of these kids came in and the problems that they had to
That's
endure
right.
at such a young age. I was working with a young lady whose stepfather was sexually molesting her.
There you
I had to
Mhm.
step away from that because
Mhm.
it's not something I
ahead,
could
you
wrap
gotta
my
call him.
mind around.
We gotta call up 1 second.
Mhm.
You want to hit speaker?
No, it's
Sure.
on.
Hello, this is the sistership. How are you?
Hello, hi, it's Jane.
Hi,
Hey,
Jane. How are you?
Spicy?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I want to just make a first. This conversation is very near and dear to my heart. This subject, as you all know, I do a lot of work with women's resources,
Yes.
so I see firsthand a lot of sexual assault cases, unfortunately.
Right.
But what I want to say, one thing is, I have a high school diploma,
I
I
love
have
it.
a master's in childbearing, and I have a PhD in street life.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
Uh-huh.
But I can tell you, I've been through it. My point is, this law, Roe versus Wade, has been for years, okay, they have been trying to overturn it.
Yeah.
I have been protesting in an effort to keep this law on the books for many, many years. And I'm only 30, my God. Anyway, what we do on this show, and any listeners out there listening, and Mama C, you are right. They are trying to distract us, deflect from a conversation. It's real hard for the people who make the laws to hear.
Yes. Yes.
So, with that said, I want to encourage everyone, every woman, every man that feels a woman has the right to choose to dig in, because I'm telling you now, we're in for the fight.
We are in
Yes.
the fight.
Yes.
You are
Yeah.
correct.
We love our Queen Ages. Jane, I want to thank you so much for calling in.
Yep.
The number here, 888-304-4401.
Please continue to call in.
888, yes, please continue to call in.
And I do believe there will be protests going on. I believe it's
Absolutely.
October 2nd, next Saturday. So
Yep. One
we
in
are
Allentown.
encouraging everyone,
Yep.
please look for the protests that are taking place in your area.
Right.
Well, I just wanted to say this, and it probably should have been a disclaimer in the beginning. We are going to definitely, this topic is stepping on toes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So is whether they're trying to distract us or not, but we could answer to certain questions. Certain questions just need to be answered. That wasn't so complicated and wasn't so hard. And I agree, we all have a voice and it needs to be heard. I don't want anybody to feel distracted or that their voice don't matter. I know that toes are being stepped on. They were stepped on last week with the topic that we touched on.
Right.
But we're
Yes,
gonna
it was.
always come across that.
Right.
We're gonna always have people that speak.
Have a good
And say
pedicure because we're gonna
something.
step on your toe.
But it's up to us how we answer it.
Mhm.
We don't have to feel like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like,
And don't get me wrong, I can answer the question, but I know how people relate to the question. And we all, again, have
You know
a voice
what?
and an
You know what?
opinion on-
Let's
Share the disclaimer.
let's with our heart feel that came from a positive space.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Positive
we
intent.
answered
Right.
with truth. Maybe
Correct.
I had an edge
Correct.
because I didn't
Just a
get
little.
it.
Just a
She
little.
got me here
Un
drinking
poquito.
real good stuff.
Un
If I
poquito.
had a little sip of something different, maybe hey, this is
Un
who I
poquito.
am.
it's that beet juice.
It's the beet juice.
Oh, it's
the
the
beet
beet
juice.
I did
that-
put some beet juice. I normally
some
only put
ginger.
water, but I put some beet juice with
So I
ginger.
got a
and
little
that's
bit.
what
I'm passionate. I'm passionate.
It was the beet
Let's-
juice.
okay.
But I want to
Lord,
talk
I
about that
topic.
6 week. I want to talk about the 6 week. I
Yes,
kind of
yes.
played my life,
Yes.
and I want to talk about what 6 weeks means
Mhm.
to us all.
Mhm.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, I'm just just in general.
The engineer. I'm
it's
sorry, y'all missed that one.
in general, 6 weeks, particularly when you have a lot of things going on in your life, 6 weeks can fly by in no time.
Yes.
That's a month and
Yes.
a half.
Right.
I'm working passionately because I do believe in the political process. So I am working the campaign again this year. And we are looking at, okay, November 2nd being the voting, the day for the election, but that's less than 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about everything I have to get done between now and
Mhm.
November 2nd.
Mhm.
I myself have the story. When I was pregnant, I did not know.
Yep.
I'm just going about my business, just doing what, I needed to do, working and just doing things around the household. And, by the time and my husband at the time that I had told him, everyone was excited for us. And then because I didn't know, I felt guilty because I felt like, okay, I just wound up losing the baby, that I had done something because I didn't know.
You wasn't prepping.
Yeah, I wasn't prepping. Like I didn't know.
I didn't prep with Zyla. And just, total transparency. So Genesis, please don't be mad at what I'm about to say. Just don't. Okay. So I'm from the hood. Genesis was very planned. Very planned. Like to the point of, honey, I'm ovulating. That kind of plan. So people always said, she's my white baby. Because, we planned. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay? So that's what happened. I created this womb for a year prior. No alcohol, no chocolate, no onions. I created the womb
So that you
to have the golden child come into my body. During that time frame, I continued my path. I did bleed though, but I knew I was pregnant with Genesis. And then afterwards, I nursed her for 2 years, the golden child. Now, after I had her, I kept that weight for a little while. Was working at it. By the time she was 4, I had these jeans I had hanging up, and I zipped it up. You know those jeans where you gotta lay on the floor. It still don't quite work. It was one day I zipped it, and it went up. Fits. Went out. Cosmos. All kind of alcohol, all kind of debauchery went into this body.
Yes.
And that was the evening that Jada Bailey was conceived. And I didn't know I was pregnant until the jeans stopped fitting. And it was almost the end of my first trimester.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what I did throughout that first trimester because you ain't going to judge me past this, okay? But I'm going to just say, I did not know. Whatever life is, you could be, I'm going to college, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, all these different things are happening, and 6 weeks can go by. You can just be chilling on your bed. I'm not going to sit here and say you got to be the most busiest person in the world. All of these things happen. We are women. We got a whole lot of things going on in our minds. We are always trying to multitask. We are always doing so much.
Absolutely.
And you can still have your menstrual while you're pregnant.
Absolutely.
So let me just say, my first child I had at 25, right? And that was unplanned. So unlike you, I was unplanned, right? I think it was like St. Patrick's Day, and I was working at the Hyatt Hotel. And I'm like, oh man, I need to go on and get a test because something's not right. So I'm at the Hyatt Hotel with a pregnancy test, right? Trying to figure out whether or not I was pregnant. Of course, it comes out positive. But I believe that I'm not big on abortion. However, I believe that it's the choice. It should be the choice of the woman to whether or not they have the abortion, right? So I chose when I was pregnant to keep my child because I'm not comfortable with abortion. But I understand why women have them because again, like we said in the beginning, financial reasons, rape, incest. There's a host of other things that go on, along with the emotions of even losing a child. So I know I lost one, right? I couldn't carry it. I lost it. And the emotions there were crazy. I was all over the place because I had lost a child. And I never thought I would be like that until it happened. So unless it's happening to you, you can't make the choice for me because you don't know what that person is going through or what they're feeling. So for these men or whoever is making these laws to put this in place and they can't even bear a child. How can you make those laws?
Out of curiosity, right? And I'm asking because I don't know. There's a morning after pill.
I was just going to talk about Plan C.
Is it Plan C?
Plan C is 10 weeks.
Of the morning after pill,
Yep.
what that does is it induces
Correct.
technically the removal of it's like an abortion,
It's like
but it's done
medically.
It's induced medically with a pill.
Right. Right.
Is that considered illegal?
Well,
No.
that's
No.
Oh, because
I did some research on it. No.
for Texas. For Texas or
for
just in
Texas, I'm not positive, but I did do some research on Plan C.
Right.
And what I found is that the sales of Plan C pills have
Skyrocketed. Yes.
and they're being imported.
Yes.
They're being imported. I actually did a research paper, I believe in undergrad, on like what was considered, I forgot the proper name of it, but it was like a morning after pill.
It is. So it's called the medication. It was FDA approved 20 years ago, by the way. 20 years ago. It's mifepristone and misoprostol is the two type of medications, whatever it is, to allow for pretty much the passing.
So question with that, and again, forgive my ignorance because I don't have a degree in this area. If you go through that, now I remember hearing, and I know DNC, the scraping, like when you have what have you. When this happens and you are passing,
right,
and if you need additional medical attention, is there going to be, like, again, are we getting arrested? Are we going to have a handcuff to the bed as we are doing this because they can now see that we were pregnant more than 6 weeks when we took the pill?
That's
I
the
know
concern, right?
Please forgive me my ignorance. This is really coming from a naive space. So help me with the process. If you know, please call.
Well, that is also one of the reasons why we're that part of that law that allows people to do that citizen part. Like, you should just mind your business. That's technically what it comes down to, because it really is going to cause Karens and Kens to get in more trouble than it's worth. Like, they really need to be conscious. Any human being, any citizen, you really need to be conscious before you step in line of fire. You have no idea what's going on in somebody's life. So don't let this law let somebody do something to you that is not legal.
Right.
And could it be considered self-defense if you come and you touch somebody and try to call yourself calling it a citizen's arrest? Like, you got to be real careful with what you're doing based on a law that those that put it in play won't ever have to touch. They sit in the office where people can't even get to them. You can't get a phone call to them.
Tell it.
Let alone dealing with the citizens that are going to be affected by this. Now, majority of us that are here are no longer childbearing years. So, this is technically, we speaking for those that are voiceless right now. We speaking to our silent audience. We speaking for you. We speaking to those that need to be, that had these questions and weren't able to ask them. We thank you for allowing us to be your forum.
Mm-hmm.
But I say to you, Karen and Kens that are out there, be careful.
Mhm.
That's all I'm gonna say is just be careful.
Yeah.
As my grandmother would
Totally
say,
agree.
don't write a check with your mouth that your aid can't cash. Okay?
Here's my other concern, right? The law goes into play.
Mhm.
And now we have the hangers. They
Oh my
won't
God.
react until something happens to one of their kids.
Catastrophic. Mhm.
And it's sad that we have to have something catastrophic, as you said, happen before they will reverse it. So what Lady Wisdom says to the Karens and the Kens, you gotta be careful, real careful at the laws that you are trying to put in place. But not only that, when you go to your meetings, when you go to the board meetings, that panel, you can't talk to them. I witnessed that.
You could talk
At
to
a
them,
board
they
meeting,
don't have
because they
to
don't have
respond
to
to you.
respond to you.
Right.
So you need to sit there and know who you're putting into place and go out there and vote. I actually went and met a gentleman this week who bought 7 Black Vote Matters shirts from us, right? Because he said it's that time again to vote. But we're still fighting for Black people to vote.
Yeah.
Have they not gotten it that we need to get out there and do it? Because I don't think when I went to the board meeting and I looked behind us, who was behind us? Maybe 3 of us, 4. So we can't get mad when these laws are changing.
Right.
We're not even out here.
We gotta
And
know.
I think it's even outside of just saying, the African American
Yes.
vote. This is people paying attention to what laws are being enacted in your area.
Right, there you go.
Because people talked about the voting right.
Mhm.
And we just felt like, oh, we have the right to vote. We can be lackadaisical about it. And you see what's happening in several states in the United States
Right.
concerning your right to vote. How they are basically putting in place obstacles to
So
keep
that you
To
you
keep you from.
from exercising
Right.
your constitutional
Right.
right.
My question with that as well, just reading it and keep going through the articles, and this is my question again, limited maybe education is in this area. Do we actually have the right to vote, or is it a privilege to vote? Because the fact that this goes in all these different conversations that even get a platform, it borders lines for me that there's something that we keep saying that might not be actual and factual, and it may be more privileges that then can be taken away. You give your child a privilege to do such and such, and when they don't act the way you want them to act,
Take it away.
you can take it away. I want to mention really quickly, because it was said, and kind of give definition to what a citizen's arrest is. An arrest made by a private citizen that is a person who is not acting as a sworn law enforcement official. In common law jurisdictions, and again, common law states is a little bit different. The practice dates back to the medieval England and the English common law, in which sheriffs encourage ordinary citizens to help apprehend law breakers. So we're talking about medieval. That's where this came from. You know, those times, when you go out to that great place and it's like all dusty and they're fighting with the horses and stabbing each other. And you get the big turkey leg. It's medieval times. So this particular ideology of how to handle things comes from medieval times. And if we're still utilizing that type of law or ideologies to administer over people, I think there already is a question that needs to be, or a challenge in place that we need to, have a discussion about.
Well, you have people that question
Y'all killing just
abortion.
y'all hear the dinging?
Yes.
That's the website.
So
To the dinging.
Is it really?
Yes.
A question was asked, or a statement was made that abortion is used to get stem cells for big pharma.
Woo!
Hmm. Wow.
Where do you stand on that?
I definitely understand.
Stem cells is a huge.
It's a huge
It is.
business.
It is.
It's a huge business. First of all, when these things happen, when I gave birth to both of my children, I walked out of the hospital with my placenta. I'm just telling you. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I have a cord bank that I paid for that has the cord blood for both of my children. I did that at that day. Now, when you leave, my sister here, see my teeth, aren't they cute? So I had my teeth pulled from my sister, in the back. That's eating candy. That's that, that ghetto life. 5 cents for candy. The back teeth were jacked. When I left with them broken, rotten teeth, I left the dentist with my broken, rotten teeth. I am not allowing you to keep anything of mine. When you walk into any hospital, any doctor, anything, and they take something from you, you have the right to request it back. I don't care if you bury it in the backyard. I don't care what you do with it. You have the right to request it back. Again, it sounds so morbid. I know. It may be. But however, it belongs to you. And yes, that is big business. Don't get it twisted. They're paying you for stuff. They're paying you to get a treatment. And a lot of times they may take what they find and use it for another e-commerce situation. That's business. So you make that decision. You can take ownership because it came from you. I'm just calling it out because I did.
That's interesting.
Yeah. No, you can't take it. That's the same thing with sex. Let's call it, it's a sex thing. Everything is sex. Sex is always what's tantalizing and makes everybody excited and have so much to talk about. You don't want us to talk about our sexuality. So we go through this whole thing. Okay, you want to blame a woman if she gets raped. What she had on? What did she do? Da-da-da, boom, 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 all of these things. So you want to go into that direction. And the thing is, wait a minute. Why don't you talk to the men on what to do with a woman, how to treat a woman, how to, no matter what she's walking in and how she's wearing and what she's doing, talk to the woman. I'm not saying sometimes the advertisement is the advertisement. I get it. I understand.
But he's responsible for his own self-control.
That's what I'm saying.
It has nothing to do with men.
Right.
He needs to have self-control.
Right. And a lot of it, not for nothing, our beautiful people out there. These same people making these conversations are the same people that when they were maybe in college and drank too much, did something that they shouldn't have done.
Right.
Then with a bunch of women, a woman went into a frat room. Yep.
So another comment came that abortion is against God's will.
Okay.
Life begins at conception, and that we're all going to hell.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's also a sin for you to be judging us.
Right. Exactly.
So you going to hell with us, huh?
No, you know what?
And it's only one unforgivable sin.
Correct.
I have the right to repent to anything. And just because we're having a conversation about it doesn't mean that I have done it. I say to you, do not come unless you're invited.
I guess we stepped on some toes there, huh?
You know what? This is gonna happen, right? So everybody's got a right to their opinion, get it? But judgment, and if we really gonna be talking about church, and we gonna go to church, again, don't judge, because at the end of the day, if you really are about that, there's only one judge.
All right.
And that's the day we lay down and we release that spirit, period. And the story, that's where it's at.
And that person probably sits up in church every Sunday.
Well, you know what? And they sin in that, look, people sin all the time and repent.
People, we give you, young lady, for your opinion. It is just that, an opinion.
Right.
We don't want to have to pull out the sword and have to, actually help you and understand it. God gives the revelation of his word. It is not debatable. So I say to you, judge, don't judge.
Right.
And that's technically what you did. You made a big judge. You made a big judgment there.
Yeah.
And called us, and then you actually believe that you have the power to send us all to hell. Wow.
And I, you know what?
But just
But
because we're having a conversation does not mean.
behind
No, I love it.
internet, okay?
Let them.
But
It's
it is
okay. It's okay.
1-888-304-4441.
All of it's beautiful.
It's
All of
okay.
it's
It's
beautiful.
okay. You know, this is exactly what we want to hear because again, we open ourselves up for these type of comments and
And I
conversations.
wanna talk about maybe some scripture.
Let me just make a comment. I can't speak for others, but I'm neither anti-abortion nor pro-abortion. I still believe that we should have a choice.
Right, agreed.
It should not be up to a panel of men
Right.
that will not ever,
Be a child. Be a child.
ever experience something so traumatic that may cause them to have to make such a decision.
Preach, Lady Wisdom.
So to say that we sound pro-abortion, that's an opinion.
Right.
Again, it's an opinion. But I am neither pro nor anti.
Right.
I just don't
Absolutely.
believe that a woman's rights should be taken away from her, the right to choose.
Correct. I agree, and that's exactly it. And I think that's the misconception is when you speak on a subject like this, automatically there's an assumption, oh, we're one-sided or
Right.
this person's one-sided. And I agree with you. I think that for those that are listening, be clear. This is about, at the end of the day, it's about a right that a woman has over their own body. And we need to separate church and state as well. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because that should not even come into the picture. And this is exactly what's going on is that we have people in positions that are making laws to make a choice on a woman's body, amongst other things that are going on. All right, they're making laws about everybody in this country. Let's get it straight. The problem is that when you start talking about a woman, decided we got a call. Well, maybe let's get the call. Do I do? Oh,
Okay.
you got it.
I got it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, this is Sistership.
Mama C again.
Yes.
Let me just say something.
Uh-oh.
You know, I had 2 abortions, one when I was 19 and one when I was 20. And then I was protecting myself. I had an IUD inserted to prevent another pregnancy. I was getting wiser as I was aging.
And that IUD
got
came out of my head.
with the IUD in. The doctor said to me, if you choose to have this child, it will have to stay in place until her birth. At her birth, the IUD came out on her forehead. And you know what?
Forehead,
God
right
has
here.
blessed me. God has blessed me.
No wonder.
He didn't say, I'm going to curse you because you had 2 abortions. God has
Right.
blessed me. I can even begin to tell you how much
Right.
God has blessed me. I'm sitting in a home that like nothing that I had as a child. I look out my windows and there's trees and with the green leaves and the weather is beautiful. God has blessed me. I have peace in my heart and
Amen.
and love
I love it.
in my whole, in the essence of my being. So let's not talk this God thing, because most people don't even know who God is. They know of God because
speak on
somebody
it.
that has told them
Speak
that
on
this is
it.
who God is, but they know God not.
Speak
So
on
I
it.
had to just pull out my minister's license for a moment.
All
right. We
here's
love
the
it. We
deal.
love it. We
All right.
love it.
Bottom line here is none of us have the right to judge each other or to condemn each other. Yes, we should be good judges of character so that we
Right.
don't fall victim to other
Absolutely.
people's nonsense, but we're just sure about one thing, that God is not going to send us to hell
And that's right.
because we did something when we were younger, because we were afraid, because we had no money, because there was no support system. There are a lot of reasons why women have an abortion.
Right.
And so for the person who's talking about we going to hell, I'm sitting in heaven on earth right now. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. That's right. That's right. That's
Thank
right.
you.
Mama C, Sistership Queenager.
She's
I
by the
wanna-
way, she's a minister.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not a minister, so I'm paraphrasing because I don't know scripture as fabulous as a lot of us. But I will say sometimes we try to play with the Bible
Right.
and we try to use certain
Right.
pieces for whatever we
Right.
can grab to fix our situation. And you know what? God bless you. That's great. But in Exodus, and I'm paraphrasing, if a pregnant woman chooses to injure or abort the fetus, the only compensation she's supposed to make is to her husband.
Mm.
Okay, so the Bible states warrants financial compensation only to her husband, suggesting that the fetus is property. If you want to create it as property, then it's between the two people that are pregnant. It's between them. So that is what in the Bible. Okay, and again, paraphrasing, go look it up. You know, not in whatever version, King James, whatever you want to do, because it all twists, whatever you want to say. I'm good with it. But again, when those two people make a baby, because that's it's two people make a baby, a male and a female, a woman. Fee meaning iron, because we bleed. See, there's a lot of, I don't play with the words because I know the words. With a public school, PS30 Queen, shout out, Rochdale Village education. So when the two make a baby, those are the only two that need to have the true discussion of what's going to happen. Now, if the state is going to jump in, okay, now and tell me what to do with that.
Right.
First of all, did you get an orgasm from it? I'm just saying. I just want to know. I know.
But it's the truth.
I know. Okay, or maybe not. Let me say, because I think we all done had some booty man get an orgasm too. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just having this conversation. Now that being said, it's chatting, right? Because we chatting.
We chatting it up.
Tiffany Rose.
So y'all miss me.
Welcome back, huh?
So the fact that you wasn't part of that outcome, play with that word if you want. You shouldn't be part of anything else. And then when you have to and you become part of the income, don't talk about me. Don't put my face as if 90% of the WIC patients or WIC people are black. Don't put my face on the cover.
No,
And act like that's
we know they're not. And we know they're
Don't
not.
put my face on the cover of the food stamp line. Don't put my face on the cover of the Section 8. Don't put my face on those covers and act like it ain't a kumbaya of folks, because it's a serious kumbaya, because none of this was created for me. I know that for actual and factual.
Absolutely.
Y'all done got me
Passionate.
passionate.
And like everybody preaching today.
Tawanda?
So why let's
I'm at a loss for words right now.
look, and again, to go back to the whole point of the discussion, I think people always miss exactly what is going on, right? Let me lift this so y'all can hear me. The whole point of it is, again, someone making a decision on somebody else's body. And that's the whole point of this. And we have to get to the brass tacks. These lawmakers, okay, are trying to control a woman's body. They're not controlling a man's body.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That was going to be.
They're not controlling a rapist. Okay. After the fact, you want to put them in jail if you can even get them to that point, right? But still, the woman is left with the burden of a potential bearing a child from that.
Mama's baby, Papa's maybe.
Okay. So those who are making these laws and standing up for these laws, who don't have a clue about a woman's body and what they go through, and you are not the product of a rape or dealing with the outcome of a rape from bearing or having to bear a child, incest or what have you, okay, because we know this is going on. Let's not even talk about the men who are having affairs, okay, and then telling the women who are getting pregnant from those affairs, okay, and telling them that they have to go abort a child because they don't want to pay for that. And
Another
that's not their
man
child,
telling you.
and all that.
Oh, no, they don't want the wife to find out.
They don't want the wife to find out, and you want to pay them off.
It'll ruin
So
my
again,
career.
let me tell you something. This is exactly the issue. Control. Okay.
Control, and even going and again, this is not soft sand and blue waters,
Mhm.
mild conversation.
Mhm.
So I want to just really, we do get passionate here, but I'm gonna tell you, I love all of y'all that whatever you say. I know it's coming from a place of needing something.
Mhm.
So prayerfully, what we are doing is delivering something, even if it's a need for you to fight what you believe, right? I'm good with it. I remember because I did have I was pregnant with Zyla at 35. Y'all can do the math if you want. I was asked if I would do what's that thing when you stick a needle in your belly and suck out the blood?
Oh, that is
Right. Because I was at an age of pregnancy, of childbearing years, that my child could have a Down syndrome or some cells.
Medical. Yep.
Okay. I chose not, and I asked him, I said, so what do we, because my question was, what do we do with this information if we find out? Like, oh, we, He said, well, if you don't want to continue with the birth, knowing that this might be a situation, because we can't heal you from it. So I said, you know what? I choose not to know, because whatever the outcome is, I choose to continue with the birth. However, if you don't choose to continue with the birth, I think you have the right to choose that.
Absolutely.
Sistership, hello.
Hello, this is Tristan, and I believe that women should have the right to do whatever they want with their body.
I appreciate you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
for
Thank you,
calling.
testosterone.
Yes.
Yes.
Call it in.
That's
Strong
right.
J.
We need some more men
Strong J.
calling.
Brothership,
Nice,
call in.
nice.
Strong J, 888-304-4401.
Yeah, I would like to hear from some men.
Absolutely.
Their viewpoint on this topic.
Absolutely.
It would be
We'd
great
love-
to hear their position on it.
Right.
Let us also say thank you to anybody that has made a statement,
Right.
a question, comment, whether they are agreeing
Or just
or disagreeing.
right.
Thank you. We thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we agree to disagree. Again, a disclaimer is that the opinions of the host and guests are individual. They
By
don't
the
have
author.
anything to do
Representation. Yep.
with Genesis Radio,
The
its
Sistahship.
owners, the Sistahship LLC, the brothership, and any form of management.
Absolutely.
Our opinions are that they come directly from us.
Right. Right.
Yes, yes, they do come from us. And let me also share this. We don't always agree on this panel.
That's
And
right.
it's life
That's right.
experience.
It's life
Right.
experience.
Life experience.
The sistership, how are you? I think it's testosterone. I feel it. Ah!
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. The brothership.
And I wanted to kind of comment
Mm-hmm.
and share my views as a male. Actually, I think that women have to make their own choices. Now, let's find out.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two, what we have to do as a society, I think it's kind of being cultivated. Not becoming anorexic,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
societal perspective, don't harm people to work with each other. That should be enough. Now, for some of the other callers with that probably some negative on the website, the real question is, what have you sold of your soul to promote? Because let's be very open. Part of it, agenda was that you could be decided to dance with the evangelicals just promote this pro-life.
Let me get up.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so that's why they bring their
Yes.
expression. So the next piece is always what. So what we have to do, when I say we, then when we get and have cross racial, cross economic coalition, let's find each other on being the best of
The
So
comment,
do we.
I first of all, thank you, testosterone gods. Thank you for raining on us with that beautiful comment. Thank you so much. The brothership, please. The brothership is the first Sundays of every month. Am I accurate with that?
Every first Sunday.
Let me tell you, we need our men. We need to hear from
Absolutely.
our men, and please tune into that show 2 to 3:30, the first Sundays of every month. First Sunday, get your communion, bring your wine, and then listen to the brothers. Again, going back to, and I want to kind of ask a question, and I know we don't have much time. Oh my God, how does 90 minutes go by so fast? We got 10 minutes. So really quickly, I want to ask a question in reference to this, what we're talking about. Woman's body. Let's say and I told you about the scripture in Exodus about when a woman does this, the only financial compensation she owes is to her husband. What about that conversation? Let's say if you are pregnant and the woman wants to abort, but the man doesn't. Let's talk about it. We got a couple of minutes in reference to that into that thought process. It is our body.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about, we didn't do it by ourselves.
Right.
And you have that person on the other side of this conversation.
We don't actually have enough time to dig into that. And I'm going to tell you why we don't have enough time to dig into that. Because you give a woman the right to choose, right? That's all we're asking. It's just the right to choose. Those ladies that are laying down, and we know there's some that are laying down, getting impregnated, and the man says he doesn't want the child. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He will sign his rights away.
Right.
Some of these women are still taking these men to court and feel like they should be able to get child support. Now, once you make your choice, you have to remember you didn't ask. You were given an opportunity and the choice. Now, what happens when he says that's not his? He's not choosing it. Do we have
That's
the
a
right
show.
to go after?
That's a whole nother show.
Do we have the right to
That's a
go
whole
after
nother
them
show.
to help?
Right.
That's not fair. So it's kind of like, that's why I said we don't have enough time
I
to
wanted
into
to
that.
throw that out, and I love both of them. I love the twist, and I love where we can go with that as a community. So again, back to a lot of people that are listening. First of all, thank you so much always to listen. I want to give a shout out to these ladies here at the Sistahship. They are helping so many businesses out here market and promote. They are doing fantastic. You got a business, I got a business. We trying to all get businesses. If you can't do it all, please call and find Sophia and Tiffany Co. to help you promote your business. They are doing amazing with some of our local communities out here and the businesses that are out here. So I need y'all to check out the marketing packages that they have to support you and your business. Because let me tell you, I can't do all this stuff. I like to think I can. I really do. I look really good on paper, but realistically, my technology and all of that, and I can't. You helped me so much. I want to say that. I know that's not what the show is about, but we sometimes forget. We go through so much, and then the sistership. We gotta be singing this end, and y'all don't know that there's so much happening behind the scenes that keeps this going. What Lady Wisdom said is powerful. We definitely might want to touch on that conversation because we're here talking about this, the woman's choice, the right to choose, the privilege to choose. I don't know which one it is. Because I just feel starting from the very top of the conversation is why is this back? How can this be back? That's why I'm not sure about, I don't know law well enough to know, do we have rights? Or do we have privileges? Because it feels more privileged, a lot of these topics.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't even know how to really answer that because laws gives you a privilege or takes it away.
Well, in the beginning of the show, I made a comment about the abortion laws. It's probably been revisited. I read it in the New Yorker. I think that's a reputable magazine. And like I said, I didn't read the whole entire thing. But in the process of it, the new voting laws came about because of Trump. But the abortion laws came after. So we want to be mindful that we don't give Trump any more credit than he thinks he deserves. You know, so in the process of it, we are mindful that the voting laws have something to do with it. And I know it's got something to do with this election that's coming up. So all the rest of this, we it's too much to dig into.
It's layered.
90 minutes, yeah.
It's so layered that if we go any further, we will go over time.
We will definitely. I ask that you guys too hit us also on the emails or on the comments. If you have some information that can help support your feeling, your statements, that can maybe help us to understand. Because I'm always open to be wrong. I'm always open to not for my views to get shifted and changed. I'm definitely here for that. So please help us. Help you, help us get, that piece, and the young person or the person, I don't know age, sorry, even given a demographic, who, really was powerful in their statement about, it's wrong. And if you believe this, you will have eternal damnation. Hey, help me understand why where that comes from, where your point of view is with that. I want to give a lot of love to our Haitian brothers and sisters. Like I said, we spoke of that. I want to give a lot of love to you and let you just kind of know that everyone on this soil is not okay with what we witnessed. And it was definitely another bruise in our PR for the world that we live in over here. Some of our viewers, they do appreciate number 45's points of views. And again, help us understand a little bit more with that. Help us understand number 46's point of views in some of these areas too, because I'm a little concerned personally. That's my personal opinion. But I am open for anyone. I think we all are open for anyone to shed some light that can help us. Maybe there's a portion here that's not right. But I am just so understanding to who Tiffany Coe is now with the IUD on her forehead. I understand. I get it. And now, Estranje, I am so, this is it. It's staying on here. It's staying on here now.
I'm not going to put that one down.
And I would see if there's a little star. Yes, we share. Speaking of the ladies, okay, let me just tell you. They're having a business vendor event October 23rd.
11 to 3.
At We Share from 11 to 3. There's not that many tables left. That's how dope these women are. There's not that many tables left. I know they have a price point. I think it should be higher because, because y'all waited too long. You can't just be showing up the day before. You know what I'm saying? October 2nd. And again, We Share. October 2nd. Please, there are going to be so many rallies. If you for or against, whatever you do, get out there, be a voice, be a voice, show your face.
We are participating in the one on October 2nd.
Allentown.
Right?
Okay,
yeah, we're going
in
to
Allentown.
So there will be some representative of the sistership there.
Yep.
We're just trying to get the voices out there, and we can't talk about it and not be about it. So we got to step up to the plate too.
And November 2nd. I know it's not for the presidency of the United States.
No matter.
I know it might not be. Might be the dog catcher's year to get elected. I get all that. But stay on track.
Right.
November 2nd.
Yes.
Vote. Always vote like your life depends on it.
Absolutely.
We are a baby country. We are a baby country.
And there's no excuse because you can actually go online, put in your address, and find out who's on the ballot for your particular area of the country where you live.
Correct.
I just registered for my mail-in ballot.
Okay, you could do
You
mail-in
could do
ballot.
mail-in.
So,
In New Jersey, we are having early voting for the first time this year.
Nice.
And so you have to request a vote by mail ballot. if you want to vote by mail, it won't be automatic like last year.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as you can actually go into specific voting polls and vote in person starting October 23rd in New Jersey.
Wow.
So we
Amen.
have early
Yes.
voting, so there is
Okay.
no
Yes.
excuse.
No excuse.
So we're actually going to have Sunday voting with early voting as well.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So before we go up, how can someone get in contact with you? You're for voting, or are you in the political field?
I am actually, yes, I'm working with my county, I don't want to say a particular party, but I'm working with the county in New Jersey, Somerset County.
Okay.
And actually, they can actually look up Somerset County and they will find all the information.
Somerset County.
In New Jersey, they will find all the information, how you can actually register to vote. You still have time to register to vote. How you can drop off your ballots if you want to use the ballot boxes.
Okay.
How you can vote early. They still need poll workers, and they're paying a decent penny in New Jersey. So if people want to be poll workers, please sign up.
Poll
Yes.
workers.
Yes.
I want to shout out to our sistership.
Election poll workers.
Election poll workers. I want to shout out Genesis
POLL.
Radio. Oh,
Not
yeah,
POL.
poll. You know what I mean?
Genesis Radio.
Genesis
Not
Radio.
POLE.
Payroll Real Estate. It's your girl Tiffany
Paparazzi.
Info, Paparazzi, Tiffany Cole, and definitely market your business with the sistership. Tawanda Jones,
Yes,
Brick
ma'am.
City, Newark. We love you. Thank you for the
so much.
energy. Thank you for being here and giving us light, love, and light. Okay, life, love, and light. Lady Wisdom, always. Tiffany Rowe, Steph Fire, Tiff Cole. My
On a
man Terry,
sistership.
we on a sistership. Roll with us, we on a sistership.
I got
We
some-
on a sistership.
We're going a little different this time. We're closing out a little different today.
Oh, he need another disclaimer.
Another disclaimer.
Ooh, I guess
We
this
love
one is hot.
you.
Yeah, we on a sister ship. Come with us, we on a sister ship. Yeah, we on a sister ship. Roll with us, we on a sister ship.
Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it.
We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. Substance, sis, you know we on a mission, no games. Help each other get over some things, build strength, bring change. Cause we've been through the rain, now it's time to shine like bling. Let's talk about life skills. We building up our quality to right wills. We rolling out of poverty, love heals. So we become the prodigy of how a sistership could be a really hot commodity. Stand together, we united, hold hands. Support each other dreams and our plans, doing everything we can. Just to show we understand the power of a friendship fam. Live life on purpose, together we learn it. Yeah, let's talk, we don't wanna see you hurt. And we here for each other, no matter the color, networking. That's for sure and for certain. Come on! Yeah, we on a sistership. Come with us, we on a sistership. Yeah, we on a sistership. Roll with us, we on a sistership. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya.
Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it.